Are you sick of all the new superhero movies that are being produced from Hollywood? Don't care much for either the Marvel or DC cinematic universe? Well, first of all, don't watch them, and secondly, there's always some Japanese madness available instead for your viewing pleasures. Hentai Kamen, Forbidden Superhero, is certainly not just another comic book superhero adaptation. This film is based on a manga series from the 90s called Kyokyoku Hentai Kamen by an artist named Jin Kobayashi. The literal translation of the title is Masked Pervert, so that alone should let you know that you are in for a treat. Hentai Kamen is about a student named Kyosuke, and sorry if I'm butchering all of these names. Kyosuke is an honorable guy who believes in justice and good behavior. As the rest of us know, the world doesn't always see things that way, so Kyosuke has turned out to be a very shy and lonely guy with few friends and trouble talking to the opposite sex. He has however some very strong DNA in him, as his father was a rough and tough detective with a sweet spot for receiving pain. And it just so happens that Kyosuke's mother was, or still is, a feisty dominatrix. This perverted string of DNA gives Kyosuke access to some great special powers. While he's trying his best to rescue the girl of his dreams, Aiko, from a group of thugs, he tries to hide his face and identity by putting some female panties over his head. This embarrassing look brings out the superpowers that lies within him and he becomes the hero Hentai Kamen. Now this is exactly the absurd ridiculousness that you would come to expect from the great Japan. While most of these type of movies make up for a better 2-minute long trailer than a full feature film, Hentai Kamen is able to make the joke last for entire running time. Hentai Kamen is a surprisingly good, fun and action-filled movie. And not only that, it is one of the best superhero movies I've seen in the last years, although to be honest, it is not even a genre that I'm all that fond of. Now you might expect this to be a very sexual and perverted movie, but it is actually quite tame in that regards. In fact, the loving relationship between our hero, Kyosuke, and Aiko is actually cute. A lot of that has to do with actors Ryôhei Suzuki and Furnika Shimizu having some good chemistry together, and both having a natural charm to them that makes it easy to like them. In a way, this movie follows the same type of setup that Spider-Man has, with the way he's finding his powers, embracing them, and with the romance being the center part of the young superhero. The most perverted part of the film is the fighting style of our hero Hentai Kamen. As you can see by the clips in this video, there are full use of dick and balls power going on. It's hard not to compare this to an earlier Japanese movie called Keiko Kamen, where the protagonist is a female, also masked and also fighting with her crotch. If there ever was a perverted Japanese superhero assembled, then Keiko Kamen and Hentai Kamen should definitely team up. A superhero also needs a villain to go against that feels even stronger than the hero. Kyosuke is a member of a local martial arts club that are starting to get tormented by a new club with a weird master. After beating him up as Hentai Kamen, the rival gang recruits a super perverted guy who runs around the city, pulling up the skirts of innocent women exposing their panties while being dressed up, or dressed down if you will, as Hentai Kamen. These guys are all over the top and fun, although I feel like they should have given our hero even a bigger adversary to go up against. Now, the production is surprisingly good and slick. Some of the special effects are goofy, but in this type of setting it kinda just adds to the fun of the entire film. The fighting choreography is also better than what I would expect. But then again, it wasn't like I had the highest expectations towards those kind of parts before pressing play on this delightful treat either. The guy responsible for this film, being both the co-writer of the screenplay and the director, was Yûichi Fukuda. He should get plenty of praise for the way he was able to translate this material onto the big screen, making it compelling and fun without going over the line to become simply too silly of a one joke that only lasts for a few minutes, like most other movies with such ridiculous concepts usually do. I'm happy to see that he's returning for the sequel, which is bound to be released in only a few months. In fact, Hentai Kamen, Forbidden Superhero, is a lot of fun from start to finish. And it doesn't seem like I'm the only one who thinks highly of this film, as it did way above expectations, making over $1 million after only being screened on 27 screens in Japan. Now that's not bad for a film that was originally supposed to go directly to DVD. I hardly pre-order anything, but the sequel, titled Hentai Kamen The Abnormal Crisis, will have my money as soon as it's made available with English subtitles. So, if you can look past or even enjoy the idea of a superhero with female panties on his head, then Hentai Kamen is definitely worth buying and keeping on your shelf. This movie has everything you want from a superhero movie: great action, lots of comedy, and a little bit of sweet romance and heart. Hentai Kamen is absolutely awesome, so it gets a strong 4 out of 5. Anyone else had the pleasure of seeing Hentai Kamen Forbidden Superhero? If not, go pick it up right away and let me know what you thought about it. If you have seen it, then I'll be very interested in hearing how your experience was with the film, and if you're looking forward to the upcoming sequel, Hentai Kamen The Abnormal Crisis. If you enjoyed this review, then a like would be appreciated. Make sure you subscribe if you want to keep up with the reviews I'll be doing in the future. Thanks for watching, and remember to always keep a used panty by your side.